So the contents of this is just going to run through how to process a pay run and how to process your first pay run and what actually goes into that whole pay run process. We're then going to have a look at the reports that you can run and how you actually run them. And then we're going to go through recording your EPS payments, so your employer payment submission. Just bear in mind that when we do process this payment, it doesn't actually pay HMRC through the system. You will have to do that outside of the system. So once you're ready to process that first pay run, just click Process Pay Run. So on this start page, you're just confirming the pay date for the pay run that you're doing. If that date is correct, then just click Next. You can change your tier as well if you need to. If you have any absences with the employee, you would click on their name and then add absence, and you would choose which absence that you want to add. Once that's done, just click Next. So on this pay page, this is where you would put in the payments and deductions for the employee. So if you click Add Payment, you can see the ones that you've set up in Settings, or you can add a new payment. If we just click Salary and add that to them, and then you put in their salary in the rate box. As you can see, this automatically calculates PAYE and national insurance. It'll automatically do the pension assessment as well, so mine is non-eligible job holder and may opt in on request. If your employee is eligible, it'll have the amount that's being deducted for pension here. If you're happy with that pay, click Next. This will take you onto the confirmation page. So it'll tell you how many employees you're paying and at what cost to you. You can have a look at the detailed report for breakdowns of those amounts, but we will go into that in a little while. You can see the net pay, the employer pension contribution and the employee pension contribution in the employee pay breakdown. And you can also have a look at their pay slip. So if you run the pay slip before you've actually confirmed the pay run, it will say draft. But it's good to check that their pay slip is correct. Once you've done that, if you just complete the pay run. When you click Complete Pay Run for the first time on your very first pay run, you will have to put in your Government Gateway ID and password. These can be stored for future submissions if you need to. And this just makes sure that that goes straight through to HMRC and the full payment submission is successful. It'll ask you to confirm the pay values, and if you're happy with everything, just click Confirm. On this page, this just shows you the completed pay run. So it shows you the employee pay breakdown again. And then if you scroll down, it'll show you the RTI information, so the real-time information. If the submission has failed for full payment submission, you will see what it does here. And if you do have a failed status, you can click Resolve Issue and it'll tell you why that's failed, so you can rectify it. If it is an authentication failure and you want to change them, if you just click this Change button, it'll ask you to put in the user ID and password again, and you can resubmit. If it has went through successfully, it will have a green tick here, and it'll say Submission Successful. If you do need to edit the pay run for any reason, you've got the Edit Pay Run button in the top right hand corner. But bear in mind, since this one is confirmed now, it will cause a correction on your next pay run. In this payroll system, there is a few reports that you can run and print off. So the first one that we're going to have a look at is the detailed payroll report. So to get this, if you go into pay runs at the top, click on the pay run that you want the detailed report for. This will only show it for that pay run. And then click here to open the detailed report. So this report contains information such as a payslip summary for each employee, a summary of payments and deductions, a breakdown of employer costs, a breakdown of amounts due to HMRC, and a breakdown of payment methods. The next report we can run, if you really need to, is the P11s. If you go to year end at the top, put it for the correct year, and then you can review employee pay. You can view them for all employees in the same PDF, or you can just view it for the one employee that you need to have a look at. You can also have a look at their pay slips again if you need to. So if you go into pay runs again, go into the pay run that you need their pay slips for, and you can either export all the PDF pay slips, or you can look at them individually with this little icon here. Then the last report we're going to have a look at is the P32 employer payment record. So if you go into pay runs again, click on the pay run that is at the end of either the tax month or the tax quarter, depending on how often you would pay this to HMRC. And then if you scroll down to the HMRC Realtime Information section again, so in this section, you'll see right at the bottom, the P32 employer payment record. If you click on that, we recommend that you print the P32 employer payment record at the end of each tax reporting period. This report shows a breakdown of your total liability due to HMRC for the period, and you can use the values to determine whether or not you need to submit an EPS, so an employer payment submission. So this is how it looks here. You'll have the month that it is, the PAYE values, the national insurance contribution values, the statutory payments, the P32 liability, and the P32 adjustments. So now we're going to have a look at recording the EPS and the P32 payment. So if you go to pay runs again, click on the pay run that completes the tax period. And then if you scroll down to the RTI section, and you'll notice it'll say your EPS payment due in, and then you've got a record payment /EPS button here.